Hi, I'm Heather from here at Booktubes, and today is my experience starting Booktube. I've been doing Booktube for 3 months now. I started in the middle of April. It is now the middle of July. If you're thinking about starting a channel or have started one and are unsure of what to expect or if other people feel the same way that you do, hopefully this helps by sharing my experience and my perspective and what the reality has been for me. I'm so nervous. Alright, the very first thing I want to touch on with starting Booktube is imposter syndrome. A lot of us can struggle with imposter syndrome without knowing about it. So imposter syndrome is just believing that you're not as good as everybody else and you're faking it, and if they ever figured out that you don't know what you're talking about, they would just turn their backs on you and be like, she doesn't know anything. She is not as good as everybody else. She doesn't deserve to be talking about this. And it can apply to a lot of different areas of life, and it can definitely apply to reading and Booktube. So how does it apply to reading? Well, let's say that I want to recommend a book that I really enjoyed and I'm worried that people are going to be like, this book is trash, you don't know literature, there's nothing of substance here, it is not worth reading, this girl's recommendations can't be trusted. And this can actually be perpetuated by the very popular videos of, I read 5 of my favorite booktubers books, can they be trusted, is their opinion worth it? I'm not shading those videos at all, I watch and enjoy them. And I haven't seen anybody do that for a booktuber and then just trash them. But subconsciously, it can exist. Like, if someone did that for me, they would probably hate the books and I would be exposed as a fraud, as somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about and has really bad taste in books. I think that I'm not the only person who feels this way. If you are literally the only person on Goodreads to rate that book above a 1 star, then maybe there's something to worry about. But chances are you're one of many who loved the book, even if there's a lot of people who hate the book. So talk about the books that you love, be true to your reading taste, and that way you can find people who enjoy the same books as you and can give you recommendations for books that you will want to read and enjoy. That's a big goal for most of us here on Booktube, is to find a reading community that we can share our mutual love of these specific books and not just books in general. So you have to be true to what you like. Don't worry about if everyone is going to think that your taste is garbage. The next thing I want to talk about is editing and uploading. I was terrified of editing and uploading. I thought that I was going to hate it. I thought that I was going to be really bad at it, that it was going to be a horrible learning curve, that would take a ton of time, effort, frustration, tears, and that it would ruin my experience, but that if I pushed through it, I would be able to continue making videos. It wouldn't be so stressful and so awful when I was editing and uploading, and I would get there. The reality was, well, there was a couple of things that really gave me frustration that I was having trouble figuring out and getting to work properly in my editing software. Most of it was really easy and fun. The first time I started editing my first couple of videos, I stayed up till like 1 o'clock in the morning because I was enjoying it. Now, you don't know me probably yet, but I like going to bed about 10:15. Anything that keeps me up past that is something that I'm really enjoying. So that's a good sign. You might really enjoy it, or it might be frustrating. You don't know till you know. Don't fear it so much is kind of what I'm saying, because it was not as bad as I thought it would be. Now, part of why it was not as bad as I thought it would be was because I had noticed with the Booktube newbie tag, which is the first video that I filmed, edited, uploaded, all the things, that I was watching the ones that were a little bit shorter, because the ones that were like 15 minutes usually had people rambling about themselves and I didn't know them and I didn't really care, or they had a lot of their pauses and things still included in the video, and so I was going to lose interest. So I kind of clicked on the ones that were shorter. So I knew I wanted my Booktube newbie tag to be on the shorter end of the spectrum of newbie tags. So I tried really hard to keep it succinct and to the point. There was a lot of deep breaths, a lot of pauses, a lot of nerves that I edited out, but still my video to start with wasn't super long and my video to end with wasn't super long. This cut down on editing time, but also really cut down on my uploading time. I was worried that I was going to take hours. I film, edit, and upload and read on my phone. I like having my phone. I didn't want it tied up forever uploading videos, so I was super nervous about that. Ended up taking around 15 minutes and was not a big deal at all. My suggestion to you is, if you're worried about uploading editing time, just keep your video short. Nobody knows who you are, you're a new creator, so short's probably for the best anyways. The next thing I was really worried about was offending people by talking trash about their favorite books. The only time I've really talked negatively about any books has been in my wrap-ups, and that's just saying, hey, I rated it 2 stars, it really wasn't great writing. You know, it's nothing extreme. There's nothing wrong with trashing books if that's what you want to do, and I'm not saying that I will never go on a book rant, because you're passionate about it. Sometimes you're going to rant about a book that annoyed you so deeply, right? But at the same time, I think most people understand that, and they're not going to be offended just because you rated their favorite book 3 stars. Next thing I was really worried about was hate comments. The good thing about hate comments is they're kind of aimed towards bigger creators. Most people are not seeking out tiny little channels and just spilling poison on them, right? While you will have to deal with hate comments eventually, according to everybody on the internet, you probably won't have to deal with them at the beginning. Right now, I've been doing this for 3 months. I have around 175 subscribers, and I have a few thousand minutes of view time, and I haven't gotten any negative comments at all. I've gotten some spam comments, no negative comments. So just know, right at the very beginning when you're getting your footing, you probably don't have to worry about hate comments. That's something to worry about later, when hopefully you already know that you love making videos and have enough motivation to work past it. If you do get a hate comment, my advice is just, would you leave that comment? If not, discard it. Besides that, would you take advice from this person? This is somebody that you know, value, and really respect their opinion. If not, let the criticism go too, especially if it's just hateful. The next thing that was my experience was I ended up hating book Twitter. I found it really negative and toxic, and it seemed like they were canceling somebody every other day, maybe every other hour. It was just a lot of negativity. Now, maybe I was reading the tweets too aggressively because it's hard to get tone across in text. I don't think that you're a terrible or toxic person if you really love book Twitter. I'm not passing judgment at all, but I had been recommended that Twitter was very important to growing your channel. One, I'm not so sure I want to be a giant creator just because they face so many criticisms and hate comments just because of their size, that I don't know that I want that. And the other thing is, I don't want to do something that raises my stress levels dramatically just to grow my channel. I would rather have this be something that I enjoy, and if that means that it takes me longer to get to 1,000 subscribers or 5 or 10,000 subscribers, that's fine. I'm good with that. So I'm actually not active on Twitter at all. I haven't clicked on it in several weeks, and that's for the best for me. Know that you should do the best for you. The next thing that I have noticed was I start out with realistic expectations. So I figured I'm going to make videos for 3 months, probably not going to reach 100 subscribers in those 3 months. And if I only have 10 subscribers, I'm still going to make videos. I'm going to give this some time, not expect fantastic results at the beginning. I'm going to expect to dislike my videos, to think that they suck, to think that I am awkward and not great at summarizing books, at getting my thoughts across, and I'm going to let myself be bad while I work on improving, but I'm not going to be hard on myself for being a beginner. I teach piano lessons, and I have been playing piano for 20 years, and beginners don't like being beginners. It doesn't matter what age that they are. They really dislike when you make them work on the beginner steps, the basics, right? They want to play fancy. Their parents are paying me to teach the basics. I have to tell them, hey, you're not doing the basics right. They don't like that. Nobody likes being a beginner. You cannot be a professional booktuber without being a beginner first. You have to let it suck. You have to work on getting better. You have to practice. You have to film. You have to be in front of the camera, talking to the camera, trying to get your flow going. But you have to post and you have to upload knowing it's not great. And I would suggest doing this for an entire year. I do not think that this is as good as my videos are going to get. And that's okay, because I can't get to the level that I hope to eventually be at with what I'm creating if I don't start at the beginning. Another thing is I'm not letting myself get overwhelmed, so I'm not trying to check every single box. I'm working on making videos consistently, and by consistently I mean at least one per calendar week. So maybe it's been 8 or 9 days since I uploaded, but there was one in this week and there's one in this week, right? Hopefully more than that, because that's really what I want to do. But I have 3 kids, life gets in the way. I can't always film. I give myself grace. I'm not too hard on myself, but I do try and stick with that. Another thing is understand that editing yourself, I think, really helps you to get better. You can see what you're doing, the things that you kind of need to change. And maybe it's happening in video after video, but you will get there. Learn from what you're editing. Try to fix the phrases that you say constantly. I'm giving myself grace. I have realistic expectations. I don't think I'm going to get a lot of views, subscribers, or interactions, and I've had a little bit more than I expected. And that's really encouraging, but there are also moments of discouragement, and you can't let that define if you're going to make videos or not. Make videos if you want to talk about the books. So, I haven't offended anybody. I haven't gotten any hate comments. Editing and uploading has not been as hard as I thought that it would be. I've gotten a little bit more interaction than I thought was a realistic expectation for 3 months on Booktube. I make the videos I want to watch. I've experimented a tiny bit, but for the most part, I've kind of stuck with what my plan was, and it hasn't all been great, but it's been pretty good. And just know that this first bunch of videos are going to suck. They're not going to get a lot of views, and that's okay. That's normal. I had to spend a little bit of money. It was under $100, so I wanted to spend no money. I've spent a little bit, and that has really improved the quality of my videos. I plan on spending a lot of time and effort with very little results, and plan on not spending a bunch of dollars. I think that it's really been true that you get what you give. I try and comment on the videos that I watch. I try to like and comment on the videos that I watch, because that is a little way to support somebody else who is on this journey. I really appreciate when people do it to me. I want to give it to them. It's free, it costs nothing. Sometimes I just say, hey, great video. Maybe that's because I wasn't interested in any of the books. Maybe it's because I'm just rushed for time. But I try to leave something. Spread kindness, it will come back to you. Maybe booktubers who are significantly bigger than you aren't going to be able to check out your channel. Don't expect that of them. Don't ask that of them. Just know that giving positivity, giving interaction and feedback will come back to you, even if it's not necessarily from that person. It will come back to you. The reality has definitely not been as bad as I thought that it would be. I am still motivated. I'm not burned out. I have tried to pace myself. I'm really happy. I'm really happy that I did start making videos. I wanted to for about 2 years before I did. I'm really glad that I did. And if you're thinking about it, I would really suggest going for it, but planning on making videos for a year, kind of regardless of your results. Also, just remember, the community is made up of people. People suck, people are amazing, either or. And sometimes they're just average human beings going about their day. I think a lot of your happiness in starting Booktube depends on your expectations. My expectations on my results was really super low, and I've been pleasantly surprised by lowish results. So go in there with really low expectations and just plan on putting in the time and effort and work. If you have any questions, I would love to hear them. I would love to make more videos about this, because there's very little advice about starting Booktube. And if you're thinking about starting Booktube, you're probably searching it and you watch like all 10 videos and then there's not much more. So I hope that this helps somebody. I hope that helps you to maybe lose some of your fear of starting. And I wish you the best. If you do start a channel or have a new channel, please let me know in the comments. I would love to check it out. Thank you so much for watching. And I read romance, so if you enjoy romance books, please feel free to subscribe for lots and lots and lots of recommendations. Thank you so much. Bye.